We all know the story. Isaac Newton sits under a tree. An apple falls. He discovers gravity. But here is a question. Why is this astronaut floating? Most people think it's because they are far away from Earth, so there is zero gravity. But that is wrong. At the altitude of the space station, Earth's gravity is still about 90% as strong as it is here on the ground. If gravity were truly zero up there, the station would fly off into deep space in a straight line. So if gravity is still pulling them, why do they float? The answer breaks everything you were taught in high school physics. Gravity isn't a force pulling you down. In fact, right now, you aren't falling. The Earth is rushing up to hit you. I know, it's a little confusing. To understand the nature of gravity, we have to go step by step, from Newton analogy to Einstein thought and much more.
We're going to explore 3 powerful ways of understanding gravity. First, we start with the Newtonian view. Then we move to Einstein's perspective. And finally, we explore a modern and mind-bending idea: emergent gravity. Each of these views works, but each also has its limits, and understanding how they connect might be the key to solving one of the biggest mysteries in physics. The invisible tether, a mysterious pull from a distance.
For over 2 centuries, Isaac Newton's definition of gravity ruled physics. He described it as an invisible tether that instantaneously connects any 2 masses in the universe. He defined gravity as an attractive force, a rope connecting massive objects. The Earth pulls the apple, the Sun pulls the Earth. In this view, planets orbit because they are being pulled inward, deviating from their natural straight-line paths.
Law of attraction. Every mass attracts every other mass. Gravity can be explained using a simple equation. The force between 2 objects is equal to a constant multiplied by the product of their masses divided by the square of the distance between them. F is gravitational force. G is gravitational constant. m1, m2 is masses of the objects. R is distance between their centers. In simple terms, this means heavier objects pull more strongly, and objects that are closer together experience a much stronger force. If the mass of either object increases, the gravitational force increases. If the distance decreases, the force increases a lot. The distance part is especially important. If you double the distance, the force becomes 4 times weaker. So this single formula tells us how mass and distance control the strength of gravity everywhere in the universe. Weightlessness. Falling feels like floating.
True weightlessness in the Newtonian sense would only occur if an object were infinitely far from any massive body, meaning the gravitational force acting on it was 0. Apparent weightlessness is different. This occurs when an object is subject to gravity but is in free fall. Astronauts in the International Space Station appear to float not because gravity is absent, but because they are falling. 2 centuries later, a different kind of thinker asked a different kind of question. Not how fast objects fall, not how far, but what falling feels like. That single question quietly dismantled Newton's picture.
Freefall. Inertia. You're always in freefall.
In 1907, Einstein had a realization. If a person falls freely, he will not feel his own weight. Imagine a man falling from a roof. While falling, he releases an apple. From his perspective, the apple doesn't fall. It hovers next to him. If gravity is a force pulling on you, why does it disappear simply because you surrender to it? Consider the bus analogy. When a bus accelerates forward, you feel pushed back into your seat. No invisible force is pulling you backward. Your body simply resists the change in motion. Einstein proposed that standing on Earth is identical to that accelerating bus. In general relativity, the surface of the Earth is not an inertial frame. It is accelerating upward through space-time.
Stuck in river. You can't feel motion when both move together.
If you float gently down a flowing river, you do not feel the water pushing you. You move in unison with it. This represents freefall or orbiting. In this state, you are following the natural curvature of space-time, the water's flow. You feel no force because you are effectively at rest relative to the space you are moving through. If you are floating and suddenly slam into a rock stuck in the riverbed, you stop moving relative to the shore, but the water continues to rush past you. Once stuck on the rock, you suddenly feel a strong pressure, the water pushing against you. In this analogy, the rock is the surface of the Earth. The pressure you feel is not gravity pulling you. It is the normal force of the Earth preventing you from flowing with the current of space-time. You are physically obstructed from following your natural path.
Equivalence principle. Gravity equals acceleration.
These analogies led Einstein to propose the equivalence principle. Freefall is the natural state. Standing on the ground is the unnatural state, where you are being accelerated upward by the surface to stop you from following your natural path. Based on this, Einstein proposed something radical. Gravity is not a fundamental force pulling masses together. It is a manifestation of the curvature of space-time caused by matter and energy. Massive objects like the Earth warp the geometry of the universe. Passing objects try to move in straight lines, called geodesics. But in curved space-time, those straight lines appear curved. That curve motion creates the illusion of attraction.
Geodesic objects follow the straightest path in curved spacetime.
Wait, what is a geodesic? Why does the smaller object follow? Imagine two ants walking on a flat sheet of giant grid paper. They start at the equator, parallel to each other. They are given one strict instruction: walk perfectly straight. Do not turn left. Do not turn right. Now wrap that grid paper around a sphere. The ants follow the exact same instruction. Walk straight north. They do not steer. They do not feel any force pushing them sideways. Yet eventually they meet.
Spacetime curvature. Mass tells spacetime how to curve, and spacetime tells mass how to move. So space itself is curved by mass. That straight line ends up looking like an orbit or a fall toward the ground.
Now we go back to the apple analogy. On the tree, the apple is not in its natural state. The branch exerts a force, pulling it away from its geodesic. When the stem breaks, the force is removed. The apple doesn't start moving. It simply resumes its natural straight path through space-time. The Earth just happens to be in the way. So to summarize this illusion, mass bends space. Earth curves the space-time around it. Objects follow curves. Your natural path leads toward the center of mass. Matter interrupts. The surface of the Earth blocks your path. Resistance creates weight. The ground pushes up against you to keep you from following the curve. Free fall is reality. Removing the ground reveals the true nature of gravity, weightless motion.